Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reserve Seating. We are doing another same title showdown, and we're joined by special guest Leo Brady. How you doing, Leo?
Gentlemen, thank you for having me back. I am so excited to be here today, especially because we're talking about a Lambert jam. I'm so excited.
Two action-packed The
Yes.
Hunteds, one from 1995, and one from 2003. The 1995 one was directed and written by J.F. Lawton. Did I
hmm
get that, or is it J.P.
JF
Lawton?
JF Long.
J J.F.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Lawton, who, do yourself a favor, look at his credits.
hmm
He's also the screenwriter of Pretty Woman
And
Yeah.
Under Siege.
and Under Siege.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the very few directorial outings that he had.
Yeah.
I have a long history with The Hunted because it was a trailer on Demon Night in theaters.
Mm.
And I was just like, what is this movie? One day I will see it, and it looks incredible. And I waited like about 30 years. And I was really kind of blown away by it. It's got this fantastic Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning-esque sequence in the middle on a bullet train.
Sure.
It's
Yes.
got samurais, it's got ninjas,
It's got throwing stars.
got
Yeah.
throwing stars, it's got like a Paime sequence, like
Yeah.
in Kill Bill Volume 2. Um, it's got Christopher Lambert somehow besting the best ninja in the world, just basically by being like having the fuck arounds for an hour and just
Yeah, by carrying buckets of water and sharpening his blade.
plot of The Hunted, 1995, is Christopher Lambert is your typical New York businessman,
Totally from New York.
totally
Definitely.
from
Yeah.
New York.
Yes.
Yep. Central Park, coming,
American businessman.
yeah,
Yeah.
just American businessman. He works in computers. He
Computer
on
chips.
computer chips. Thank you. I need to specify. Christopher Lambert, New York businessman.
Mhm.
They close a big deal. He goes to the bar. He meets Joan Chen, who is just, I don't think she's a lady of the night, so to speak. I think she's
No.
just,
Well,
yeah,
she's
Yeah, I don't
Josie
think she's
Packard
just.
from Twin Peaks.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 She made it out of the drawer handle somehow. I don't. David Lynch must have had a hand in this screenplay. She made it out from the end. Her ending in Twin Peaks. So I'm glad to see that she made it out.
But they go out on a date. It's kind of like before sunrise in 10 minutes. And then they make love in a jacuzzi. And then she gets beheaded. And
We can't.
Christopher
We can't
Lambert.
just wait.
I think I was just thrown off when I how excited I was when Lambert learns her name and says, Karina. Karina.
He's kind of the only American I would want to go to Japan with. Like I said, Joan Chen is doomed. She gets beheaded by John Lone, who's the main bad guy. He's the supreme ninja of all of Japan, but he's also very sloppy and not very good at being a ninja. Um,
No, we've
and
never seen his face.
never see his face.
Right.
That's why you kill hundreds of people on a train
Yeah.
to keep your anonymity. Yeah, this movie's nuts. The middle sequence on the bullet train is kind of fantastic, and it's like a half
Yep.
hour long, it feels like.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a really good centerpiece.
I didn't want it to end. I was like digging it for all of its wackiness, weirdness in terms of just like the drama that it was creating. It felt sort of like operatic for all the like wrong reasons, but it totally was like working for me. Um, I think, yeah, I found it interesting to find a movie where the lead character is this guy who has no skills whatsoever. Like Adam said, it only took him about 10 minutes to figure out how to basically use a samurai sword. But like it's rare for the male actor, for the male character to sort of be the one who is helpless. He's kind of like a damsel in distress, and he's the one who needs saving. So I
Mhm.
found that to be like an actual interesting and unique twist on what is typically a movie about like a woman who is needing the prince to save her kind of thing. I just dig anything with Christopher Lambert these days. He's just
Yeah.
fascinates me as an actor.
I like how he kind of narrates the end fight at the end. He's just like, he's using his left arm.
Yeah, this movie has a strong Junesploitation energy to it. There's a number of
Oh, sure.
spots
Yeah.
you could fit this in for. It's good that we're doing this week because the Hunted 95 is definitely a Junesploitation type movie. So I appreciate it in that Junesploitation way. I was thinking a little bit of to your point, Leo, thinking of like Jack Burton, like in Big Trouble in Little China, where he's not really
Yes.
in control of anything. He's sort of a passive
Yeah.
kind of, without
Yeah.
humor, obviously. But it is, as you said, it's always just fun to see Lambert in it because he's like Schwarzenegger, not just because he often plays Americans and isn't American, but like he has that otherworldly superhuman quality to him where he like doesn't feel like an everyman, and him trying to be an everyman adds this layer of unreality to things. So anytime he appears on camera, you're just captivated by him. So that got me through the parts of the movie that I thought were on the weaker side, sort of narratively.
Yeah.
But it's a ton of fun.
I do want to give a shout out to Yoshio Harada, who plays the samurai, because he's having a five-course meal out of this performance. Like, I look to see, I'm just like, is he just some guy who, like, they cast and he wasn't in a lot of movies, but he had a really long career in Japanese film. But my God, is he like just coming onto the scene with like immediate gravitas, and he's just like playing this to the hilt, like it's like Macbeth or something. Like, I just love it. I do wish there was an alternate ending to this movie where it's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where just they cut to shots of like a boat and it's like the NYPD slowly coming to the mainland, and that the businessmen that he that get left behind at the beginning of the movie are just like, whatever happened to him? Maybe we should send the NYPD to Japan and find out what happened to him. And then at the end of the movie, right when they're about to do the final showdown, he goes, his left arm, he's using his left arm. All of a sudden, like 50 cops show up from NYPD Blue, or from NYPD
From
Blue,
NYPD
from
Blue, you got
NYPD, like Dennis Franz and Jimmy Smith show
Jimmy
up,
Smith.
and they arrest John Lone, and he goes, "Book him, Dano," and that's the end of the movie. Are all sword makers drunks?
And they're prepared with plenty of buckets of water to dip the sword.
Oh God, the sword dipping. I love
The
the
sword
sword.
dipping. It's such a process.
There's nothing better than the sequences in both the Hunteds where they are heating up blades and then like going like chop, chop, chop and like shaving the blades, and then they put it in that water and it goes tss. It's the great, it's
Very
like,
comforting.
yeah, it makes me want to like work at a fast food joint just to hear that from fries for like a week, and then I'll be like, I got my fill, I quit.
it. Quit.
They're like, Adam, you can't bring swords in here. I'm just like, sizzle, please.
Speaking of sizzle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro.
Wow.
Would you like to explain the plot of The Hunted '03, Rob?
The Hunted '03 is William Friedkin kind of doing Rambo's First Blood, sort of. It's sort of a riff on rogue soldier is loose in the woods, and we
It
must.
is kind of it is kind of like if John Rambo
Yeah,
went all bad and
yeah.
Richard
Yeah.
Crenna was the hero.
I mean,
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
fugitive riff. I mean, we're giving once I made this joke on Letterboxd, but like there really was a period of like 10 years where we just made Tommy Lee Jones solve all of our cinematic problems. Like there was something goes wrong, and we're just like somebody escaped, send Tommy Lee Jones. Like Tommy Lee Jones can do this movie in his sleep. It's totally watchable.
I really love this movie. I think Benicio does a really good job of like, well, two things. Okay, so like Friedkin cuts this movie down to the bone.
Yeah,
Like there's
Yeah.
not an ounce of fat on this movie. It's all like meat and potato cinema. And like Benicio del Toro sort of does the same thing. He's just kind of like, what if I whittle all of the humanity out of this person and I basically am Michael Myers? And I love the story that William Friedkin told about acting, about the differences between the two guys. Did you ever hear that anecdote?
No.
So Benicio del Toro is like a real, like, I need the backstory of this character type of actor. And Friedkin's just like, I have no time for that shit. So I just made something up.
Benicio del Toro's like, I need the backstory of the character. Tommy Lee Jones is like, I need the check made out to
Yeah,
one,
right.
two.
And Friedkin was saying that Tommy Lee Jones is such a brilliant actor because all you have to do is he's just like, he doesn't come in, he doesn't ask for what your motivation is. He just goes, where do you want me to stand? Where do you want me to stand when I say this? Where do you want me to end up in the scene, like standing, like which mark? And he said that he brings all of that character work
Mm.
to the set. And one of the things that he pointed out, and I've never been able to not notice it, is in the scene, since he said this, was in the scene where he's talking to Connie Nielsen in that office. He's standing by the window and his hands are constantly like in motion.
Uh-huh.
It's not
Yeah,
like he's like waving them, it's just he's always kind of like moving his fingers. And it's like that's his default. Like he's just like always ready to be on the attack and everything like that. And he's like this tracker with like a weird sensibility. Like he's just not a
yeah,
normal man. So I think that that's really cool. And like it's so funny as a counterpoint to how indestructible he is. This makes like John McClane in Die Hard 4 look like John McClane in Die Hard 1. Like just the amount of shit that they put Tommy Lee Jones through.
yeah.
And there's like no way a man of his age or physical build could like withstand any of this shit. But it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I texted you, Adam. I was like, this movie, it has to be the movie that Tommy Lee Jones is like, all right, that's it. I'm done running.
Yeah.
I'm done doing all of this physical activity to prepare, even to prepare for this role. I am too old for this shit. It's his I'm too old for this shit movie. I dug this movie. I think where it worked for me is it feels like a Frankenstein's monster kind of story.
Mhm.
Kind of like
Oh
what have I,
yeah.
like what have I created? I've created a monster. Now how do I put the genie back in the bottle? You can't do it. It's too late, and all he's trying to do is stop him at all cost. I forgot how like violent this movie gets at the
Yeah.
end, like just how bloody it can get. I think that's really cool. My only problems with the movie, honestly, were like there were scenes that felt like were out of place cut wise. Like 1 minute the police officers are like skimming the water, searching for him. Next thing they're like inside an office discussing their approach to hunting
Mhm.
him and getting him. But like again, I'm guessing that the studio or there was something in the cutting room that like Friedkin was like trying to piece it all together and it wasn't necessarily working. I also have in my head on repeat, Tommy Lee Jones getting off of a helicopter, puking his guts out.
What's
That
up?
might be one of the funniest moments I've seen in a movie in a long, like unintentionally hilarious. And I just was like, oh my God, what is going on from the start of that?
Is this the stabbiest movie you've ever seen?
It's real stabby, like real stabby. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Real savvy. Yeah, and
I,
this movie's more impressive in terms of like a MacGyver fashion, where
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro's character is able to find just anything around him or in the trash and turn it into a massive like Ginsu knife. He's got
mhm.
like going back to the Rambo comparison, he's got like the Rambo blade and he like made it out of sticks and bricks that he could find around
I like
himself.
I like the
Yeah,
scene
they
where he's teaching the girl about how you can tell like the gait of an animal, like you can tell what the animal is by its
Oh
gait. I'm like,
yeah.
I want to watch this movie. This is
Yeah.
cool.
they're like making all these blades in like 30 minutes, like out in the forest. It's just kind of including water dipping time. I mean, like it's just
For creating their fire. They're kindling their own fire, and then they're and then water dipping time. Yes.
yeah. There's two parts in this movie that made me laugh out loud. One is when Tommy Lee Jones is doing the demonstration on the guy who's standing still and he shows you like like the seven moves to kill a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if I were that extra, I would be like, I'm never doing another movie again. It's never gonna get any better than
No.
this.
No.
And he's just like so
One.
swift with them.
One.
He's just like this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And then another one is when Benicio del Toro steals a car and he's driving away, and Tommy Lee Jones is somehow keeping up with him for a little while on foot. And
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro just turns and goes like,
I like this also as like the like you guys have been joking on the podcast recently about like making box sets, like the early 2000s post 9/11 like bleach bypass action cinema, where
yeah,
everything is washed out color wise. It's got that Black Hawk Down sort of like I was looking at the David Griffiths who co-wrote the movie and he also did Collateral Damage. I was like, oh yeah, Collateral
yeah,
Damage 2002, like very
Yeah.
much like of that oeuvre of action movies from that one period where everything was a lot of shake, a lot of again bleach bypass, suck all the color out. Maybe everything is real harsh in terms of color contrast and make
Yeah.
everything look gritty. But no, totally watchable movie. Totally
Yeah,
So
fine.
we got Collateral Damage, The Hunted. What else are we putting in
Yeah.
the
What else
box?
goes in that box set?
Man on Fire, I was gonna
Man on
say.
Fire,
I
Black
was
Hawk
thinking
Down,
Tears of the Sun.
There's a
Yeah.
Two
Oh,
Sun.
spoilers.
that's a good fourth. That's a good four
Yeah,
pack
Yeah,
right
those are
there.
good.
yeah. So
Mhm.
I think a better ending for this movie. Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro are about to do the stabby fight, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, out of the like, and it's ready for the death blow. It's ready for the fatal stab, and then just Jimmy Smits pulls out a gun and shoots Benicio del Toro, and then he goes, "Don't ever bring a knife to a gunfight."
There you
Yeah.
go.
And then we were
Nice.
like, "Oh, this was a gunfight movie." I'm gonna throw down a challenge to Patrick. I want him to do a 24 hours of early 2000s Connie Nielsen day.
Yeah.
Because my God, there that would be like a hell of a day, but I
Yeah.
don't think it would be because of Connie Nielsen. All right, so the big question, which Hunted is better, 95 or '03? Leo, we'll start with you.
Man, I'm going with 95 only because well, it didn't help that I had already seen Friedkin's The Hunted. So I knew what I was expecting. And 95 The Hunted just felt very operatic, very cool, my kind of movie that has like a bullet bullet train fight sequence in the middle, all of those things, samurai sword fighting and guys in a sword fight to the death at the end. That stuff is I eat that stuff right up. And yeah, that was just my kind of movie. I think I really liked the Friedkin Hunted more than I did before the first time I saw it, so it got definitely like a star bump this time. But I'm going with 95's The Hunted. I really had a lot of fun with that one.
I'm gonna go with '03, but for the exact same reasons as Leo, which is like it's just more my speed. It's just more my kind of movie. That's all. It's I think they're both interesting movies. I would put either of them on at any time. Um, the quirkiness of '95 is really fun, but there's like other movies of that pile at that time that would appeal a little bit more to me. Like if I want Lambert, I'm probably not going to go to this one.
Yeah.
So just more my sensibilities. That's all. I think they're both in the same league of like watchability.
I'm gonna go with '03. It was close. Like before rewatching them both, I was thinking it would probably be 95, but '03 gets better every time I see it, and I've seen it a lot recently, and I just enjoy it every single time. And The Hunted 95 I love, but there's nothing like the first viewing of The Hunted 95, and then the second viewing is it's like going from like a 100 to like a 90. The Hunted 95 is also a special
Special.
movie because it was the first movie I've ever had to go to a coffee shop to exchange to a friend to allow him to have access to the movie. So I
Yeah.
am invoking, and Rob, this concerns you because we're meeting up in July,
Yes.
the Christopher Lambert Coffee Club
Okay.
where we go to a coffee shop and we exchange a Christopher Lambert movie. So this is a lot of fun.
Yes.
We are going to be back with June Sploitation next week.
Mhm.
We are kicking off our month with Magic Day, and we're going to watch Willow with the late great Val Kilmer
Yes.
and
Yes.
Warwick Davis, directed by Ron Howard. And until next time.
These seats are stabbing you over and over.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That got darker as it went. Like I didn't mean for it to start out, and then it